A Washington teenager is in a coma this morning after suffering a traumatic brain injury. His dad hopes his story will encourage others to prioritize wearing a helmet.
An Oregon football coach was given a standing ovation at the Trailblazers game. This morning, we'll hear from him as he describes the moment a student walked into a classroom with a gun.
"5 a.m. on our Tuesday morning. Welcome to KREM 2 Morning News. I'm Jen York.
I'm Amanda Rowley.
And I'm Evan Nurani.
Coming up this morning, we are tracking breaking news. An Amber Alert for a missing Idaho girl is canceled this morning.
Arizona police say they have located the 17-year-old and she is waiting to be reunited with her family. Authorities issued an Amber Alert for Sandra Rios Chavez. They say she was taken from the parking lot of a Wendy's on Sunday. Police say she was kidnapped by 18-year-old Miguel Rodriguez Perez. He has since been taken into police custody.
Last night, police tried to stop the suspect's car in Surprise, Arizona. That's about 30 miles northwest of Phoenix. But they found the car abandoned a short distance away. Last night, police searched that area but did not find anything. And this morning, again, that scene is clear. This is a developing story, of course. We are tracking this breaking news update. You can find updates this morning on KREM.com as well as on the KREM 2 mobile app. And as soon as we receive any new information, of course, we will pass that along to you here on air.
Of course. Switching gears now, we had kind of a beautiful afternoon, early morning, afternoon yesterday, and then some clouds rolled in. Is it going to be nice?
It seems like today's going to be kind of like a similar day to what we saw yesterday. Right now, we are seeing a few showers kind of through the far southeast portion, your hometown, Walla Walla, seeing some showers right now. But if you're anywhere really farther north of Walla Walla, which is pretty much the entire state of Washington, you are looking good this morning. So here's what we got outside right now. Downtown Spokane is looking pretty calm, pretty dry, and on satellite radar, we are picking up on a few showers. So again, these showers are mainly tracking toward the southern portion of Washington along the western slopes of the Cascades as well. So if we give you a little bit of a closer look, you can see around our area, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, all the way down through, say, Pullman and all the way up north through Colville, things are looking really nice. We're looking calm and dry. So as we go towards the rest of the day, we are going to see a couple of these showers push a little bit farther north. That means that areas like Walla Walla may see a shower or two as the afternoon approaches. But otherwise, looking at a pretty dry day here. 12-hour forecast indicates that we'll see a few degrees warmer of temperatures today than what we saw yesterday. So yesterday we made it to about 65. Today we should get up to about 67. Chances indicate that by the time we get to about your Thursday, your Wednesday possibly, and especially your Thursday, we should be hitting the 70s almost across the board. So that's the good news, is we're warming up as the days go on. The bad news that we do have is that along with the showers that are happening just down south, we do have a good chance of showers popping up by the time we get to your Friday. So Friday seems to be another day of wet weather around us. Take a look at what happens as we head all the way into your Friday. These are pretty early indicators, so we don't have especially high confidence of what is going to come on Friday. But right now, we do see a good chance of some showers popping up as we go into your afternoon and evening and headed into early Saturday morning. We'll be talking a little bit more about that coming up and what to expect, but we do want to take a look at what is on the roads right now. We do have some construction in Spokane this week. Crews will start a new project on Maple and Walnut Street from 4th Avenue to 9th Avenue. This project was slated to start in September. However, due to last week's storm, that has been moved up to start this week. And that is everything that we have as far as updates go. We'll be giving you more as the morning goes on. Back to you guys.
All right, Evan, thank you. The drought emergency is expanding to cover nearly half of Washington. This follows the statewide snowpack dropping below 50%.
Yeah, Governor Inslee expanded the declaration yesterday due to water supply around the state and warmer and drier weather predicted through the summer. Snowpack conditions are less than 50% of average for this time of year. Experts predict the warmer weather will shrink the snowpack even faster. They say that may lead to a lack of water supply this summer.
The state released this map. It shows 24 areas just added to the drought declaration. The lighter pink areas are ones that have been in a drought emergency since the beginning of April.
Now, more than a dozen tornadoes touched down over the past 24 hours, and more severe storms are expected today in the south.
Yesterday, the tornadoes swept across the southern plains from Texas to Kansas.
Anybody on the west side of Mangum, in Mangum, you need to just take shelter. This is a large tornado.
In Oklahoma, one twister damaged nearly 1 dozen structures, including a 112-year-old home. Several tornadoes were spotted, but most of the severe weather hit rural areas.
We've seen it just right over there about around where the softball field is, which is not very far. Finally, my husband says, we're going to have to go somewhere.
Overnight, the severe storm overwhelmed low-lying areas throughout Oklahoma. Several people had to be rescued from the flooding. Tornadoes also hit areas of Texas. Some parts even saw hail. Missouri and northern Arkansas are expected to get hit with severe thunderstorms today.
Some people are waking up to snow this morning in Colorado. Just last week, the state experienced temperatures in the 80s. That quickly dropped down to the 30s this week. Yesterday, a 20-car pileup blocked parts of Interstate 70, causing delays and closures.
And I'm within arm's length of the door, about 3 feet away from the door, and there's a kid with a gun.
That's how one Oregon football coach described the scene when a student walked into a classroom with a gun. He was able to defuse the situation, and luckily no one was hurt.
This morning, we are hearing his side of the story. Keenan Lowe received a standing ovation at last night's Trailblazers game. And last week, he was named a hero after he tackled a student armed with a shotgun at a school in Portland. In an interview before last night's game, he says he felt honored. He says support from the community made the situation easier to process. And he says when he saw the gun, his senses just took over.
I felt compassion for the kid, to be honest. I had a real life conversation. Obviously he broke down, and I just wanted to let him know that I was there for him. I told him I was there to save him. I was there for a reason, and that this is a life worth living.
Since that moment, he's been called a hero from people all over the world. Beyond the cheers and praise, Lowe says he's focused on his students and moving forward.
Very humble there as well. He's thinking about the student instead of himself and his actions. So
Good
remarkable.
Yeah.
Coming up on 5:07 now, a Seattle father hopes his son's skateboarding crash will help change state laws.
Yeah, his 19-year-old son is recovering from a traumatic brain injury after he crashed while doing a trick on his skateboard. Aiden Schellings is still being hospitalized and is in a semi-conscious state. His dad has been by his son's hospital bed since his crash late last month. Schellings was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash.
The damage is great. The damage is significant. Left side of his skull was removed so the brain could swell without causing any more damage.
Schellings is awake and responsive at times, but his father said he is still not speaking. His father wants to share his son's story as a warning for other skaters. He is working with state lawmakers and skateboard companies to change the culture around skateboarding, where skaters have been reluctant to wear helmets.
The people that make the boards, the trucks, the wheels, all of that. And there's some fabulous companies out there behind this sport, but we just need to see a culture shift that really concentrates and focuses on safety.
Doctors say Schellings could remain in the hospital for another year. So in the meantime, his father hopes to spread his son's story as a warning and prevent similar accidents from happening again.
Especially with the busy summer months coming up, a lot of students and kids will be out on the streets riding bikes, skateboards, something to keep in mind.
Right. Yeah. Always good to wear a helmet.
5:08 now on our Tuesday morning.
Well, grab your phones and get ready to vote. We want to know if you think companies should offer daycare services while you're at work.
And if you are driving to your Memorial Day destination, you may want to think about getting a head start. This morning we have your holiday driving forecast.
And right now it looks like we've got partly cloudy skies outside, but showers could be rolling in as we head towards the weekend. We'll be talking more about that right after the break.